What happens when you're triggered? Well, first I'd like to clarify what I mean by triggered. It's a word that's overused a lot. So I don't mean that when you are angry or you disagree with someone, you're upset that you're triggered. Those may be things that happen, but what I'm talking about is when something happens, you have an involuntary response that you don't like, that doesn't feel good. You may do or say something that you don't want to. You may not do or say something that you want to, and you don't feel good afterwards. Well, a long time ago, most likely, something happened and you had a bad feeling in your body, and those two things instantly fused together in your nervous system. And afterwards, when you were going about your life, that same nervous system looked around and said, this situation is very similar to that one that made me feel bad, so I'm going to have the same reaction here. And this one's not very far off either, so I'm going to have that same reaction. And before you know it, there are a whole lot of different situations where you have that same reaction that you don't like. The purpose of this video is to let you know that there's not something wrong with that. You may not like it, but people often think that it's their fault or they're broken. Well, you're not. If you're triggered, just know that that trigger is working perfectly. It does the same thing every single time that thing happens, and it's doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's just not doing something that you want, need, or that you can benefit from anymore. So there are things we can do to undo triggers. Triggers are formed at the emotional level, not at the logical level, so it's very hard to just talk about them, but there are things that can be done. But what's not helpful is to think that you're in control and you're doing that and there's something wrong with you. There are other things we can do, but just remember, this is often an unconscious response that was designed to protect you in some way that just doesn't work the same anymore.